Not my favorite member of Kiss, but you know,
man, he's still going.
But hey, he's given SeaWorld what it wants.
He is. You know, you come for the dolphins and the Shamu, and you leave for the love gun.
Remember when we first met John McClane? Argyle picked him up from the plane and took him down the Nakatomi Tower at the Christmas party. And the terrorists were overzealous, but it was sweet when they killed Ellis. And with a little help from Alan, John McClane kicked ass.
Welcome back to Shat the Movies, the podcast where we answer the question, were the movies we loved when we were growing up really that good? Have you ever caught yourself thinking, why don't they make movies like they used to? Can you still remember spending your Friday night searching for the perfect movie rental Blockbuster Video? Do you know what Blockbuster Video is? If you answered yes, then this is the podcast for you. I am one of your hosts, Gene Lyons, and alongside me is my co-host, Big D, Dick Ebert.
Good evening.
Each week, we take a look back in time, decide if our favorite films still hold up. The movies we cover are chosen by you, the listeners, who generously commission the films you love. If you'd like to see all the movies we have covered, will cover, and want to choose one for yourself, please visit shatpod.com and have a look. At the end of each podcast, we'll provide you, the audience, with a number of wipes each movie takes to get off your respective butts. So thank you so much for listening. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button and share it with a friend. It's how we help the podcast grow. Additionally, subscribe to our sister podcast, Shat on TV. Review TV series such as Westworld, Taboo, American Gods, Game of Thrones, True Detective, Lovecraft Country, and Watchmen. Find all information and past episodes at shatbot.com/TV. And finally, if you would like to hang out with us live, follow and subscribe to our Twitch channel, shatpod.com/Twitch, and our YouTube channel, where we play video games, host watch parties, and edit this podcast live. All that being said, Big D, what movie are we reviewing tonight?
Gene, I'm very excited for tonight. I think if you remember the 80s, as an iconic film generation, you know, a decade, you have like the iconic films. And most of them, I think, are either action or like a family comedy. It seemed like a time where it was about kids, adventures, getting on your bikes. You could be a prince. You could have like your grandfather reading you a book and it turns into The Princess Bride. You could find a little piece of a map in your dad's attic and you end up going on a treasure hunt. There's so many fun family films. I mean, you see a giant beast in the woods. Hey, let's take it home. You know, anything was fertile ground for comedy. So I was glad when Mike decided again to commission another film with us this week. And he went back to a film that I'm very near and dear to my heart. And it was the 1987 American fantasy comedy film, Harry and the Hendersons.
Mike wrote in to explain his commission and said, "Good morning, Shat Crew. As I mentioned before, my commissions are a result of my loving family's Father's Day gifts to me last year. In selecting my movies for commission, I wanted to select movies that reminded me of good memories of my now departed parents. In each of their own ways, they both influenced my now deep love for movies. Last week, I commissioned Quick Change in memory of my dad, Paul. This week, I'm commissioning Harry and the Hendersons in memory of my mom, Marlene. The summer that Harry came out, my family embarked on a massive road trip. We drove from South Florida out to New Mexico, up to Colorado, all the way back over to Pennsylvania, and then back home to Florida. One of the days on our way to Pennsylvania, my dad decided to stop somewhere in Illinois for the night. After checking into the Days Inn or Holiday Inn, we visited the local mall for dinner at the food court and to take in a movie. My dad decided he wanted to see Untouchables, and my mom took me to see Harry. I was that perfect age in the 80s where things like the Loch Ness Monster, the Bermuda Triangle, and Bigfoot were fascinating mysteries. There was something about the movie magic of seeing the big guy come to life on screen. It was a movie I loved instantly as a child. I've enjoyed Harry my entire life and have shared it with my own children now that I'm a father myself. Sharing the movie with them and watching their amazement and joy is a connection that goes all the way back to the 80s and that family road trip." And that comes from Mike. Mike, I thought the way that story was going to go as you were painting the picture was like the family all went in the station wagon and they went to the mall and they went to the food court, never got to pick out what they wanted, whether it was Steak Escape or Chinese food or Orange Julius or Chick-fil-A. And then you guys all sat down in the movie together. Maybe you put your head on dad's shoulder and you passed out. But dad was like, "No, actually, you guys go see Harry and the Hendersons. I'm off to Untouchables. Peace out."
Geez, I wish I'd seen this with my family. I must have told this story before. My parents have a place up in the Catskill Mountains. If I'd seen Harry and the Hendersons, I might have had a stress-free, much easier childhood with absence of fear of a giant, like monstrous, hairy beast living in the woods. Because there was this show called In Search Of with Leonard Nimoy. It was a scientific weekly show, and it was on one of the few channels we had with the rabbit ear TVs. And it would be legends, like maybe like the Loch Ness Monster, maybe some mystery of a spaceship, and Leonard Nimoy would narrate it. The fucking episode that maybe 5 or 6 year old Big D watches is a Sasquatch attack in the Northeast, in New York, in the region I'm at. And all of the drawings and renderings looked like the vicious version of Harry that he draws to put up in the gun shop. They show how the kids would come up to the windows and Sasquatch, because he's outside, and you know when you have lights on in the house, it acts as like a mirror and you can't see it. Sasquatch busted through the window, grabbed these kids. To this day, I walk by the window in my parents' place and I get these like shivers down my spine that there's a fucking giant evil Sasquatch staring at me.
Sarah's sister, their family is quite religious. They're in church a couple times a week. For Christmas, we bought her niece a cryptid activity book. So it was like you could, do word searches, connect the dots, Mad Libs and stuff. And it was all about cryptids. So it taught about the Sasquatch, the Jersey Devil, the Chupacabra, all that stuff, which I was very excited about until I realized that the rest of the family did not enjoy me sitting there with their 10-year-old daughter telling her about all the cryptids and all the lore that goes behind them. So just be sure if you're going to give the gift of cryptids to a child, one, that you're not going to terrify them and make it so that they can't stand near a window in upstate New York. And two, make sure that it doesn't violate any of their religious beliefs. Did you know that Montessori schools, they don't allow kids to see talking animals?
No, I didn't know that.
It's a thing.
And their rationale being?
I don't know. I've never been to a Montessori school.
Are they fine with like Veggie Tales with talking fucking vegetables?
I'll ask next time.
It's got to be. But listen, Gene, if you want her to remember you, scare the shit out of her. I can't watch Spock without being secretly terrified because of what that man did to me, Leonard Nimoy. She'll remember you if you put a little fear into her. Just do it on the down low, quietly. Say, listen, your parents don't want you to know about this. Number one, animals can talk. And number two, all of these stories are based in truth.
Not to toot my own horn here, but I'm very excited about the fact that my daughter really likes to be spooked. It's like her favorite thing in the world. She likes to be like a dog barking immediately behind her. She'll jump and then she starts laughing. If you like come around the corner too fast, anything like that, except for, and I'm ashamed to say it, as a person of the night, she doesn't like the dark.
She'll learn to love it, Gene.
I know, but I take her for walks in the night.
Born into it, your daughter.
I took her for a walk one night and I was pointing out the moon and like the stars. And I was like, see how the world is quiet? This is our time. This is the time when we are one with the world. And she was like, no, I'm going to cry. Take me home, please. I want my mom. So we'll work on it, but I may have a day walker on my hands. Anyway, Big D, when this movie was commissioned, I was shocked at how much of it immediately popped back into my head. Like, obviously, I've seen Harry and the Hendersons. I knew I'd seen Harry and the Hendersons, but it doesn't really come up in conversation all that often. And when I saw it on the schedule, as you made the schedule out for the year, just images, Harry's face in the rifle's crosshairs, Harry holding the dog with one hand, Jacques Lafleur's outfits, like George slapping Harry in that heartbreaking moment. This movie did something to my brain as a child. It might be responsible for my entire moral compass.
I don't know what to say about that. I don't know if that's well, I think you have a good moral compass, so maybe.
I mean, it teaches a lot of good lessons for children, this movie.
It does. It questions, then it lets you grow. Mm-hmm. Then again, it gives you a chance. I think that's what kids need. You need a chance to experience life, learn from it, and then make choices. So that's possibly a good thing that you stuck with. For me, I always enjoyed kids' movies. I don't know why. Maybe because my mother was an au pair and there were always kids in the house and that was something like we could watch. So I love all the Disney movies. I know all the songs. Again, I said like the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Harry and the Hendersons, the E.T., even the Mac and Me, or like the Batteries Not Included, the stuff like that. But I became even more excited, Gene, when I realized this was directed by William Deere. Do you know who he is?
I do not.
You'll know his work, Gene. He is one of the finest filmmakers in American history. The 4 films he's known for, Harry and the Hendersons, The Rocketeer, he was the writer.
Oh.
Angels in the Outfield, he directed. And by far, the most underrated action time travel movie of the 80s, he directed Time Rider, The Adventures of Lynn Swan.
Get out of here.
He did.
Legend.
Yeah, talent knows talent. You can see it here.
Well, Harry and the Hendersons is a 1987 fantasy comedy starring John Lithgow, Don Amici, and Kevin Peter Hall. Steven Spielberg served as its uncredited executive producer, while Rick Baker provided the makeup and the creature designs for Harry. The film tells the story of a Seattle family's encounter with a Bigfoot. Shooting took place at several locations in the Cascade Range of Washington State near Interstate 90 and the town of Index near US 2, as well as Seattle's Wallingford, Ballard, and Beacon Hill neighborhoods. Harry and the Hendersons grossed $50 million worldwide and earned an Oscar for Best Makeup at the 60th Academy Awards and inspired a television spinoff of the same name. In the United Kingdom, the film was originally released as Bigfoot and the Hendersons, though the television series retained the American title. The DVD and all current showings of the film in the UK now refer to the film by its original title, Harry and the Hendersons. Let's hit the trailer.
For ages, he has hidden in the forest, eluded hunters, baffled scientists, and remained a mystery until the Hendersons bumped into him.
What is it?
It's a major discovery. We have to take it home.
George. It's alive!
It's eating my 15th birthday corsage!
Uh-oh.
George, he's coming back!
Stall him!
I can't! How?
Show him the pasta maker!
This is our home! Our stuff!
Oh, sit. Exercise, Irene.
This is it. The whole world's gonna know. Ran away.
I gotta find him. I'm going to kill him. Means something to me. Can't you see that? He means something to me.
We'll never see him again, will we?
What I'm going to say now might save his life. There has been yet another sighting of the creature that some people are now calling
Harry.
Harry?
Since when does he have a name?
Since right now.
The average American family just got bigger. Harry and the Hendersons.
Isn't he something?
Following a camping trip in the Cascade Mountains, George Henderson drives home to Seattle with his family when he hits a Bigfoot with his station wagon. Believing it to be dead and the key to fame and fortune, the family straps the creature to the roof of their car. The legendary French-Canadian hunter Jacques Lafleur discovers the Hendersons' damaged license plate and tracks them to Seattle.
So I think it's interesting how the movies and the commissions we get, we started doing like the connections between the films, how they come in bundles, even though they're commissioned by different people around the world, different times. They always seem to have a common theme. And it's been the Pacific Northwest between Shoot to Kill, Stakeout, Harry and the Hendersons. I think most of what I know about the Northwest growing up was from films. It was Kindergarten Cop. It was The Goonies. It was beautiful. Watching this here, it hits me. It's forest. It's mountains. It's misty landscape. It looks kind of like otherworldly. It looks like kind of like New Zealand to me. It's where you would put a mysterious creature. You got the snow peaks on the mountains. The clouds seem to hang low. You got wild rabbits running around. There's mountain lions. There's bears. There's gorgeous wilderness, man. And if you're going to place this type of story, or E.T. even, right, in Northern California, there is nowhere left in the United States that you could place a mysterious beast or being that's surviving in the wild. As a kid from New York, the Northwest seemed like the most mysterious, wild place that you could ever want to go. And watching this now, Gene, I don't think it's crazy to believe that you could find something out there. You know, so I want to go there with you, Gene. I would like to go on an adventure. We could find a hidden pirate ship, find treasure. We could find sparkling vampires hiding in plain sight. This is a place I would love to go on a road trip or an adventure with you.
Well, I'm always down for a road trip. The King Bee recently hatched a plan to ride his Triumph Scrambler from Phoenix to Nashville and back. Now, this guy's never been on a ride longer than 200 miles in his entire life. Nashville is like 1,800 miles, but look, it's good to have dreams. Anyway, he asked me about it and I said, fuck yeah, man. Like, you got to follow your dreams. It's going to give you something to aspire to, right? It's going to give you something to get you off the couch. You got to get physically fit. You got to get your bike ready. You got to start riding a little bit more. But also, just so you know, like, you're going to be riding across basically the width of Texas and Arkansas. And as a veteran Chop Top Challenge driver, and as a person who has moved cross country several times, I can tell you that everything from New Mexico to Tennessee is just hideous, barren nothing. I'm not talking about the fun parts of Texas, okay? We're not hitting Austin, Houston, San Antonio, any of that shit, right? This is like across that northern and western barren ass Texas. And then, of course, you got Arkansas, right? No offense to the Arkansasians. That same distance, that 1,800 miles, you could do Phoenix up the coast of California through Oregon, right? Pacific Coast Highway route to the Pacific Northwest. That is some of the most beautiful landscapes you ever see. Why the hell would you want to ride to Nashville?
So I love your optimism. And I love that you're trying to better the King Bee and you're trying to be a good father figure. I think trying to help him out a bit, but I think you're overstretching here. If a kid says, hey, I'd love to get in shape, let's set the goals a little lower, right? You don't tell them, hey, we're going to make the Olympic team. Hey, we're going to become a sprinter. Hey, have you ever pole vaulted? Hey, have you ever thrown a javelin? You start small. You don't plan a trip with him across the country. Try to leave the state. Can you reach the Arizona border?
Oh, I'm not going with him. This is going to be him solo. No. If you're asking me, I'm like, hey, let's start out.
You're wasting your time.
We're going to LA, go to San Diego. We could go to Mexico, maybe not right now, but normally go to Vegas, right? Yeah. There's lots of places you could go on a bike trip that would be a lot of fun. Even Flagstaff, Arizona, for starters, right? But here's the thing: is he showed me this plan. He went to ChatGPT. I want to ride to Nashville. Give me a route with reasonable stops and whatever. And ChatGPT did what ChatGPT always does, which is like the clippy thing, like, hey, looks like you're trying to go to Nashville. This is going to be a great one. You can do it. You're an adventurous kind of guy. And so I told him, I said, hey, first off, ChatGPT is wrong a lot. So fact check. He did, and he found out it is wrong a lot. Secondly, though, I told him, I was like, try Claude because it's a little bit less of a sycophantic AI platform. Like, it's not going to tell you something's a good idea if it's really not a good idea. It corrects me a lot of times where I'll ask it for, its input on something, and Claude will come back and be like, yeah, terrible idea. Walk away from that idea. Not a good idea. So he goes and he Googles Claude AI, and he ends up getting another AI and downloads it. It's called use.ai because it's a sponsored link because the King Bee is very tech savvy. So he downloads that and starts using it, and it's telling him like wrong distances, wrong directions. It's telling him like on the way to Nashville, you can get gas in Tucson, which is south of us, not east at all. So clearly not super useful. But my point is that ChatGPT told him, hey, you got to get your bike ready for the ride, which I agree with. You got to start by doing smaller rides nearby and work your way up, which I agree with. And you got to get your body in shape. So it's telling him to do kettlebell swings and go for walks, strengthen his core and all that stuff.
Why are you doing this to yourself?
Me?
Kettlebells. Okay.
Why am I doing it?
You got him to do a GLP-1, right? And then he would force feed himself bags of chips.
My point, no. It's quite the opposite, though. The point is that I've given him workouts multiple times. I've told him, hey, we'll go to the gym 3 times a week. I'll go with you. I'll walk you through every exercise. And then on the Friday, so the third workout of the week, you've earned a breakfast out. We'll go for breakfast out together. Maybe start with walking. Let's do a walking plan, whatever. The problem is it has to be his idea. So he won't listen to his best friend, but he'll listen to ChatGPT or Claude AI or use.ai. My point is ChatGPT told him work out, and now he plans to do it, and I support that.
That's awesome.
But maybe go to Seattle and not Nashville.
Send him the Depeche Mode song, Route 66. Just tell him to follow that path. St. Louis down to Missouri, Oklahoma City looks oh so pretty.
Yeah.
Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, Don't Want Winona, Kingman, Barstow, San Bernardino. Send him fucking that way.
Oh, we pronounce it Kingman.
Thank you for the correction.
You're welcome. So Big D, I am in the market for a minivan. So that Sarah and I can get back to camping like the Hendersons. Okay. Right now I'm not like, oh, baby needs its pack and play and the stroller and all that shit. That's not the point. The point is we have 4 dogs and a baby and 2 adults. So the Subaru is not going to cut it anymore. And obviously I can't put everybody on my motorcycle. So camping in Arizona, if you're a valley dweller, especially the East Valley, it is a way of life in the summer. You have to go up there and get out of the heat on occasion just so you can be outside and not die. And few things make me happier than strong beers, whiskey, and a tree canopy. Like, you put me in that environment and I'm a very, very happy camper, no pun intended. When we meet the Hendersons in this movie, they're on a camping trip and you see that they got a clothesline out. There's a TV. They're running a generator, full cooking array to cook that rabbit, not like you were doing in the Army. You can assume, based on that setup, that the Hendersons, they've been out there for a while. They've also got a dog sitter and like loads of mail waiting for them. So I'm assuming week, maybe 2. Okay. And to me, as much as I love camping, that seems like just too long to be out there. My sweet spot is 4 days. It's like long enough that you decompress, you tune out, you get disconnected from social media and everything else, but not so long that you feel like gross. What's your magic number?
My magic number is 0.
0. Okay.
0. See, because it's different. Like, I used to like to camp. We would go up into the mountains and we would do mushrooms, and we would have campfires. We'd cook out. We'd hang out for the weekend. It was fun. After the military, I no longer have any desire to be physically uncomfortable if I don't have to, because I know what it's like. Recently, I was playing softball and it was cold. In Florida, it was down to like 25.
Ooh.
And everybody was like, oh my God, it's so cold. And I said, dude, it's fucking not cold because I know I can leave. I said, if I'm tired and I don't feel like playing anymore, I will leave and go home. It's only cold if you know you can't go inside. You know you'll have to pee inside of a water bottle inside of your sleeping bag because otherwise it'll freeze, and then sit it out next to you and you'll wake up with a urine popsicle next to you. So I don't do that shit anymore. If I go to the beach, Vanessa loves the beach. I will go to the beach as long as I don't get sand all over me. I need chairs. I need a couple 10 by 10s. I need a radio. I need a little table. I'm going to be comfortable. I have no interest in roughing it.
At some point, though, doesn't the prep, like the annoyance of the prep, make it not worth it? Like, you'd rather just, travel light?
Oh, I'm not going for me. I'm going for Vanessa, and this is the only way I can go. Like, Emma's the same way. I would choose not to go to the beach. I would sit near the beach, but if you want to go onto the sand, we're going to have a full operation. We're going to have a packing list. We're going to go. We're going to do it correct, right? But I've never been on a camping trip like this, Gene. Like, out. I imagine you definitely have, because you go out into the desert, you do some wild shit. If you're out there now, you're in your brand new Honda Pilot, your minivan with the wife,
that's an SUV,
with the kid.
Honda's, it's an Odyssey.
Okay, so the town and country.
I can tell you all of them. Yeah,
okay,
town and country.
You're in the town and country with the 2 captain's chairs, okay? Mm-hmm. You got the baby seat in the back. You're out there. You got king bees coming with you. You got your rifle, right? And you fucking are driving through the woods and you hit something.
Yeah.
You hit, let's just say, we don't know that's Harry. Maybe it's a black bear. It's out in the middle of the street. It's looking dangerous. In a real world scenario, are you going out to check out what this is? Are you going to be like, hey, let's go? Or are we going to keep driving? What are you going to do?
I've only been in scenarios where we've hit deer. Mm-hmm. And in those cases, I did get out cautiously, like you're supposed to do. I didn't get near it within kicking range or anything like that, to see if it was alive or dead. And if it was dead, what we needed to do about it. If it was alive, what we needed to do about it. Thankfully, in every scenario, the deer was dead. I mean, I'm not glad that a deer was dead, but I didn't have to do any, let's say, mitigating activities, right? In this case, if I see like what looks like a Sasquatch,
no,
probably not. But beyond that, I just have to advise people out there who maybe don't have a lot of gun experience: do not poke things with the end of your rifle. The likelihood that you will accidentally shoot a very rare cryptid is very high.
No, don't. Seriously, this could have been a dude in a ghillie suit. Worst case scenario. The hunter out there, some weird survivalist. Don't get out of your car. Drive away. But I got to say, this is where we meet the unsung hero of the story. Ernie is a fucking legend. He is the most underrated part of this family. He is amazing. Like you see him and you're thinking, okay, this is the Dexter. This is like the nerd. You know, he's the kid who gets made fun of at school. He's not that tough. Maybe I was expecting him to like whine as they're camping. Like, I don't want to be out here. But he's not. He's the toughest kid out there. He's loyal. And underneath that, like that wimpy exterior, this kid he's dressed head to toe in camo, first of all. He's got that classic old school Mariners baseball cap with the trident. He embodies the energy of the Northwest kid. His instincts, Dad, I want to get a pair of cleats because I'm going to spike that bully. This dude, when his father gets out there and he thinks there's a giant beast, does this kid cower in the back seat like in Jurassic Park? No. He says, Dad, you want me to come with you? You need some backup, he says. He's treating this like it's a tactical unit. This kid is ride or die, Gene. I would be proud to have a son like this kid. You know he's going to survive. You know he will be able to protect himself. This kid, they're fucking up a lot in this family. Ernie's not one of their fuck-ups.
You mentioned Dexter, and I'm assuming you're talking about Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah, the little I don't know the show, but he's like that little nerdy genius.
Yeah, Ernie's reminding me of another Dexter. Because this kid is going to grow up to be a serial killer.
No, he's not.
He wants to kill every animal he sees. He is obsessed with his rifle. He likes hanging out in the basement a little too much. He's got Jeffrey Dahmer glasses. I hated this kid. I can't believe you want one.
Oh, no, this kid was strong. This kid was always wanting to be around his family. This kid will, listen to me. If it all goes down and we're in our compound, Gene, you tell me you don't want this kid won't fall asleep on guard duty. You put him on fire duty, he's not going to sleep.
Yeah, but he's also going to want to become some sort of like a tyrannical warlord.
No, he's not.
Yes.
No, he's not. This kid is loyal. He's fun. He's tough. You know, this is the type of kid. He's not a victim. He's strong in his individuality, and I liked him. I wish you did too, but I really don't care.
Would you want an Ernie in your
because I'm Ernie right now.
Yeah. Would you want an Ernie in your household? Write to us, host of shatpod.com, or use the SpeakPipe feature at shatpod.com.
You should.
That night, George discovers the Bigfoot is alive and in the kitchen, having knocked over the refrigerator while looking for food. The family realizes that the creature is intelligent and friendly, and George decides to return him to the wilderness. Naming the Bigfoot Harry, George tries to lure him into the station wagon with fast food, but Harry becomes upset and runs off. Big D, during the opening half hour of this movie, I thought it was misogynistic garbage. The females are being corrected on calling a rifle a gun. They just stay at camp while the males go out and do fun stuff like kill bunnies. And these women seem whiny. They seem overly sensitive. But then I started to see that perhaps William Deere was injecting some sort of a subversive undercurrent into this movie, because the males, it is true, do all the major actions, but the females, they're always right. George's wife, Nancy, from the minute they hit Harry, she asks repeatedly, are you sure the Bigfoot is dead?
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert, it isn't. She repeatedly tells George it does not belong in a suburban home and it needs to be returned to the wild. Fast forward to the end, it does. And she even points out the ethical and practical problems with keeping a humanoid as a way to make money. Okay? It's not okay. The dudes in this movie, to a T, including Ernie, are greedy, hyper-violent, disillusioned, and dumb.
So I want to start off. I want to say thank you to you. I would thank Ash. I would thank Carrie. I would thank the more sensitive members of the podcast in our history, right? Either you as a group have improved me, or this is a bit of Stockholm syndrome. So I don't know which one at this point, but I'm leaning towards that. I want to thank you guys that this confirms that you've made me grow as a person. It might be now that I'm 52 and I started the podcast in my 40s, right? I should have been an adult at that point. But I'm seeing things now that I can hear you on my little shoulder. Like, hey, aren't they marginalizing the women? Oh, why are they talking? And I'm hearing it. And I'm like, no, they're not doing that, right? But you're 100% correct. I think they are marginalizing the women here. And now I'm more hypersensitive to the plight of like the underrepresented. I felt like the women, everything was like, George, complaining and nagging. Oh, those are empty calories and sugar cubes. Oh, why are you lying about bringing the gun or about doing anything? Whiny. And then the daughter, right? Even though she's a teenager, right? We know she's going to become a woman. So she can just scream at a giant Sasquatch and she can be hysterical. And the giant Sasquatch will be like, oh, and run away, right? So I'm seeing this happening. And then you brought it up that this is actually subversive. And I was like, holy shit. Old me watching this as a kid, I would have been like, I'm never going to get married. These women are so annoying and they're going to ruin our fun. But now there is a component of intentional subversion. And now seeing William Deere's, his filmography, it makes sense. He is a generational talent who is speaking to me. So thank you. And thank you to William.
The student has become the master, Big D. I didn't even think about the kitchen scene where she's screaming at a Sasquatch. Yeah, it's nag. That's what women do.
Nag. Yes,
scream in your face.
Even a giant Sasquatch fears an emotional woman.
Well, they're trying to crush the beast inside of us. You know, we're meant to be strong, like Harry.
No, she even broke Harry later when she gives him the flower, and he's like he's afraid. Like, I have learned, fear woman.
Big D, I mentioned Harry and the Hendersons won the Oscar for Best Makeup at the 60th Academy Awards. And watching this movie in 2026, I can see why. Like, today, they'd ruin this character with CGI. But in this 1987 film, the Sasquatch looks so believable. He's so expressive. He's so vivid. Harry has this human quality to this day that I can't quite explain. You have to see it to understand what I'm talking about. The best I could describe it is when you look at a friend and you see them every day, right? And sometimes they look kind of old and sometimes they look kind of young and sometimes they look handsome and sometimes they look derpy because they're a rounded person, right? I'm not talking about different facial expressions they're making. I'm talking about just in a certain light at a certain moment, you see these aspects of them, right? I'm starting to see it with my daughter. Like, I look at her sometimes and you can kind of see the humanity growing right in that face. And that's Harry. He has dimensions to his appearance and it makes him feel so real.
I agree 100% with you, but I think there's two components to this. I think that you kind of missed a little bit. Number one is the performance. So the actor is key to it, right? Let's take away, if you had this beautiful suit and the beautiful effect without Kevin Peter Hall in it. Kevin Peter Hall was the Predator after Van Damme got fired. He was Predator 2. He was in Monster Squad. He embodies and he moves in it, right? So that's part of it. If you had the performance now, you need the suit, right? And I think the key to the suit is what we see when first Harry shoots off the car, or actually when he looks down in the car, right? It's that expression, but it's the eyes. We talked about this with E.T. and Johnny Five. The eyes are all the expression. You got Wally, right? The audience, you can connect. You can show emotion without saying it. You can communicate frustration, gentleness, vulnerability without dialogue. It's key that you have it. And then there's part two, which I didn't even realize until the very end. Those fucking teeth, Gene. It's his teeth. He has human, blunted, flat, smiling teeth. When he smiles at you, it looks like a giant grill of chiclets. If he had any sharp teeth, you're not relating to this animal. And those eyes, he can look sad. Like you said, derpy, connect. You mix that with the teeth, and it is a perfect combination. 33% acting, 33% teeth, the face, the suit. It is great.
I didn't think about this till you mentioned it, but also, yeah, the movement, you're absolutely right. There are scenes when Harry is running or trying to move fast and he's moving the way that you see like freeze frames of Sasquatch with like the arms like kind of like extended in both directions. Yeah, it's a masterful job. And hey, look, it's one thing to find an actor who's 7'2", but it's another one to find one who knows what he's doing. And yeah, full credit to Kevin Peter Hall. Saddened, the family attempt to resume their normal lives, but sightings of Harry become more frequent as media fervor heightens. George visits the North American Museum of Anthropology to speak with Bigfoot expert Dr. Wallace Wrightwood, but only finds a museum clerk. As the city falls into Bigfoot hysteria, George braves aggressive police and amateur hunters to save Harry from LaFleur and reunite the Sasquatch with the Henderson family.
So, Gene, I texted you earlier and I said, will you wait until you see my notes here? I think I've earned my social justice warrior cape. I don't want the cape. I don't think I'm joining you on that hill, but this movie is making me realize how I'm starting to see the world in a different way. Because, okay, there's something unintentionally funny about George and the family. They're always chasing Bigfoot money, right? And they're saying, oh, we just need one break. This will be the money we need. And I'm like, you fucking live in a waterfront Seattle dream house. It's 2 stories. It's got a view of the fucking Needle in downtown. The neighbors have got a giant in-ground pool. In 2025, that's fucking elite. I'm like, they've made it. In 87, it reads like it's comfortable, but we're struggling. You know, we really got to take care of the station wagon. And the movie accidentally captures a snapshot of the economy and the economic moment that no longer exists. I'm not going to get on my soapbox and preach about the accessibility of the American dream and how kids today can't afford a house. I'm not going to say that, but it's a housing time capsule that reflects a different economy, you know, where affluence looks very different. Middle class expectations were framed differently. In the late 80s, upward mobility was often portrayed as like one big breakaway. I'm going to get that promotion, Clark. I'm going to get the pool, right? Today, that house would represent, we've made it. It's long-term financial security. The contrast, it's clear, it's dramatic. And the cost of living shift. It like that house, man, back in the day, that was a starter house for something. Today, that's the end goal. I don't know if it clicked. It had to have, Gene. You being hyper aware of the stratification of the society. Did you see that as well?
Oh, absolutely. Single income household. They're raising 2 kids, and they got this house with only one person working, and his job is clerk at family-owned sporting goods stores. So much of this world does not exist anymore, okay? The whole family, they share one station wagon. And this is for better or worse thing, too. Like, yes, things have gotten more expensive, but also priorities have shifted, right? Now it is the expectation that every person of driving age in the house has their own car, right? No, this is 3 people of driving age, 1 station wagon. As I mentioned, George works for his dad. They own their own sporting goods store. There's no Dick's in town. There's no Big Five, okay? There's no Shields. It's just Henderson and Son Sporting Goods. Neighbors, they're talking to other neighbors they don't like just because they're neighbors. We were a society, Big D, in 1987. I don't know what's happening now.
Dude, he works at home. He's not working on the weekends. He's not taking phone calls and stuff from work he's off at probably 4:30 every day. He took a whole fucking week to go into the woods, right? Nobody's complaining. That is probably a $2 million house today.
Oh, easily.
Probably way more. Right on this, because, you know, that's probably like where Gates and all those tech companies in the Northwest, you know, they're building their compounds. That shit, it probably is like a $2-3 million house.
Yeah, I don't know if you're in the same scenario in Orlando as I am in Tempe, Arizona, but if we had to buy our house today, we wouldn't be able to afford it.
Oh, no way. No way.
No way you're in the same boat, or no way?
No way we could afford it.
Yeah, no way.
No way.
It's more than tripled in value. It's
correct.
Bananas.
Well, I don't know that tripled, but more than doubled. And also with the interest rates, we couldn't do it. Nope.
Thanks for Shat on Mortgage here. George invites Dr. Wrightwood to dinner and discovers that Wrightwood is the museum clerk. Wrightwood urges the Hendersons to give up on Bigfoot as it has destroyed his life. But Harry suddenly appears, restoring Wrightwood's enthusiasm. When LaFleur shows up at the Henderson house, Harry and the Hendersons escape with Dr. Wrightwood in his truck. Fleeing to the mountains, George tries to force Harry to leave.
So, Gene, we're both animal lovers. We have taken in over our family time probably like 6 strays. We've never bought an animal. Like right now, we got Wednesday and we got Rambo. I found them in the parking lot of a Chick-fil-A. We had Toby we found at my sister-in-law's house. Marshmallow the rabbit showed up at our house. Vanessa got Bella from Brazil. And in each of those cases, I did not want that animal. I hated cats, despised them. And we found Toby. And this is 15 years ago, right? So I brought like a flyer to work and I passed it around. I said, hey, somebody please take this cat. I hate cats. You can't do it. I sent it around. And one of my coworkers said, oh, he looks like a Toby. That was fucking it. 15 years later, we had Toby. He was still ours. And he passed away. At some point when you name it, your brain flips from temporary to family. So when George casually says, the creature is Harry, Ernie immediately understands what that means. When you name it, it establishes a connection. It's not an animal. It's not something you own. It is yours. You can't let it go. And for me, that moment, it resonated. You could see that everybody got it. And even though it's a ridiculous concept that he thought, hey, I could sell it. I could support my family. We could get that, the American dream, that he would throw it away simply because it like connected to him. But anyone who's owned a pet knows that is a genuine moment. I'm sure you can remember the moments that you got June, the moments that you've had connections with animals that become a part of your life that you question how you lived without them.
Yeah, this is why I don't name vehicles. A vehicle is a machine. You buy it, you sell it. It should be that cut and dry. And every time I get a new motorcycle or a new 90s shit box, people always go, well, what are you going to name it? Or even worse, what are you going to name her? I just call the vehicle whatever the manufacturer called it. That's the V-Strom. That's the Street Twin. I don't even get personalized plates anymore because it gets in the way, right? An animal's a whole different story, though. It's a living being. It's part of your family. They deserve that. But I can't stand when people name their vehicles.
I think you might name the family minivan when you get like the family truckster. You can't name your car, right? But when you've got a family vehicle, the kids, the family, you might be like, hey, let's all go get in the truckster. Let's go get in Mary Lou. Let's go get in Tom, the Town and Country.
So you get overheard at the Applebee's. Hey, Sarah, you want to get Mary Lou? Actually, now that you mention it, so the Subaru has a license plate that's like, I'm not going to say the exact license plate on the air, but it looks like it spells out Leanna. And so we do call it Leanna with like an extended Leanna. But no, I try not to name the vehicles. And then, of course, my Bolt does have the Zero Wipes license plate. So if you see a Zero Wipes license plate out in Arizona, that's me.
I got a couple recommendations for you. Here's what the internet says. The Mothership. Your minivan could be the Mothership. It could be the Beast. It could be the Man Van.
No.
It could be the Shaggin' Wagon. It could be the Romper. or Mr. Fantastic. There's a lot of things. Bertha, Tilly, Gloria.
Yeah.
The Brick. Free Candy. Name it Free Candy.
Free Candy, the van. I don't know. So far, I think Mothership or the Beast works
Dusty,
best, but
or Red October.
Fucking Red October. If it ends up being red. I famously don't buy things new, so it's whatever color the van comes in. But
or old school, the Red Dragon, or what was the name of Frank the Tank's car? The one that sat in the driveway. I think it was the Dragon.
I don't know.
Yeah, or Red October would be great.
Red October is good. Yeah, good. Well, Big D, we finally come to the part of the movie where we get the saddest scene, perhaps in all the 80s. It's a scene where George has to hurt Harry to save his life. Harry, they don't speak the same language. Time is ticking. Jacques Lafleur is on his way to try to kill Harry, and George has got to get Harry to get moving and not come back to the family. And it still breaks my heart to this day. As a kid, it drove home a really important lesson about sacrifice and tough love. And sometimes you don't have the time to fully explain how his decision is in a loved one's best interest. And sometimes you don't share that common language or vernacular, particularly with animals. And you have to get the reaction you need to get, no matter how mean you have to be to get it. And I'm getting better these days at boundaries with the dogs. Like, I'm still unwilling to disturb their bed position to make myself comfortable. I kind of wrap myself around the dog and wake up with like neck pain. But I recently read about people who just let their babies cry themselves to sleep. And I don't think I can do that. Like, I think that's where I would have to draw the line. Where they're like, yeah, just put her in the crib. It's going to take her an hour or so to fall asleep. She's going to be crying. You just have to resist. I'm like, she's not a fucking puppy. Like, that's a human being. Your eyes are shifting around like you've done this.
No, I was just saying we talked about this recently, how men are conditioned to hear other noises in the home but sleep through babies crying.
Sure.
Women are more attuned to babies crying and not noises in the home. So
But
maybe it's
Emma,
just
no.
Yeah.
With Emma though, okay. When you were, I'm assuming you crib trained her at some point.
yes.
Yeah. When she was in her crib and you were in your bed, if she started crying, would you go to her?
No, I think we set like a time limit. Like if it was like 3 or 4 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever. But no,
yeah,
it was
I mean, a couple minutes. Yeah.
Right, right.
If it's
Yeah.
going on for a while.
No, if it goes on for a long time, what's the fucking point? No,
Well, they say it's like the baby will eventually just wear itself out and fall asleep.
I will. Luckily, Emma wore herself out within a reasonable amount of time. It never put me to a point where I was uncomfortable, where like she was struggling like crazy. Then I would have felt guilty. Then I could in my head think, did some animal get into the bed? Is there a bug? Is there something?
Is there a Sasquatch?
Maybe Sasquatch at the window. Yes, there could be anything. But no, within reason, you don't want to come running to your child and make them conditioned that anytime they want you, they will scream and you show up. But you don't also let them sit there for 2 hours. Maybe their foot's caught in between the rails.
Well, I think you have a monitor. Like you're looking at the child. You're just not
but
going
you don't
to the
know.
child.
You don't know what's in there. Anything could happen.
With deep fakes these days?
No, I'm saying there could be anything in the bed. Something could have fallen in. There could. Who knows?
Wait, did you have an audio only monitor?
Well, this was 10 years ago, Gene. There's no.
Oh
we
my
had
God, the dark.
No,
ages.
we had the full one, but you don't know. Something could happen that made them scream. Maybe their foot was stuck. They pulled it out. It's black and white.
Mothman.
It's a tiny little thing. You go back and just check them out. Whatever. Yeah. She turned out great, Gene, until she stumbled in here about 10 minutes ago and just told me she can't sleep and she was having a panic attack because she's not going to have time to get up in the morning. I took her to see Gene Simmons from Kiss last night. And she said the noise from that, and tonight she went to see Lionel Messi play Orlando City. And she's like, all that noise, I just can't sleep. And I'm a little worried. I said, listen, go calm down and relax. What was that song Love Gun about? I didn't understand that. I'm like, just go to sleep, Emma.
She want to see my Uzi? No. She want my AK-47? No. What she want? Love gun. What's that? Love gun.
Gee, this was at SeaWorld, Gene.
I know. I was following along on Vanessa's Instagram.
So we were at SeaWorld just by chance because Vanessa bought cheap annual passes. They have a sign up that says, there may be inappropriate non-family language used by the artists. He's up there and he comes out there. He's like, hey, everybody. He's 78 years old. And he starts off by talking about the drummer's got 9 inches and that's why the ladies love him. And Emma, luckily, it just went over her head.
Right.
But Love Gun was when we left.
Did they play Strutter?
They did not while we were there, but there was a song. He started on this like rambling old man. He said, we used to write love stories about it was okay to love a 16-year-old. He goes, today we can't do that. But I'm going to sing about it anyway. So they have some song like Christine 16.
Yeah. So
he said, instead of calling it Christine 16, I'm going to say it 16 Christine. I'm going to switch it up.
Oh,
it was interesting. But the dude can fucking rock. He can sing. Apparently he doesn't drink or smoke.
Yeah.
And he put on a fucking show.
Not my favorite member of Kiss, but
man, he's still going.
But hey, he's given SeaWorld what it wants.
He is. You come for the dolphins and the Shamu, and you leave for the Love Gun.
So Vanilla Ice is going to be playing the Chandler Ostrich Festival this year. Mm-hmm. And do I go and heckle him?
No.
Because his crowd's going to be so small that like he'll be able to hear you.
Dude, have you ever... he's become extremely successful in real estate. He does the music now just for fun. So he's not even like a failed artist.
Right.
It's not like when I saw the Spin Doctors at the Ohio State Fair. And there was like 15 people in there. It was mostly women changing their baby's diaper from the summer
they
heat.
might be in real estate too. You don't know.
I think you go. Gene Simmons said, because he just sold his whole catalog and the rights and everything for like almost $300 million. He said, we don't need to be doing this, but we do it because we like to rock. Fuck yeah. Let Vanilla Ice get out there. Gene, hold on. I'm going to look here and see what's the Seven Seas Food Festival. Now you got me for the concert series. I'm going to see. We got the Yin Yang Twins and Paul Wall. Gene Simmons.
Hell
played.
yes.
Smash Mouth, March 6th.
I
It's a
thought
new
that guy
singer.
died.
He did. It's a new singer.
Oh, okay.
Maddie and Teo. I don't know who the hell that is. Connor Prince. Ooh, Tiffany and Bow Wow. What is that?
Tiffany,
All for
like,
One.
Think We're Alone Now?
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's called Tiffany, Bow Wow, and Emotion. I don't know what that one. All for One, which I think was a boy band. The Beach Boys, Soulja Boy, and Baby Bash. Well, that'll be
damn, yeah.
Brett Young. We got Chris Johnson, who's a country. We got Great White and Slaughter.
Oh my God.
Whew, The Fray.
Not to be confused with Slayer.
Uncle Cracker. I'm sure that'll be interesting.
Jeez, this is all at SeaWorld?
Yep. Tracy Atkins. We got Jesse McCartney. I don't know who that is. Boys
Paul
to Men.
McCartney's kid.
Boys to Men. Molly Hatchet. Groupamania. I don't know what the hell that one is. Elvis Crespo.
Groupamania.
Jeez, everybody. Orlando. You get, woof. We got an annual pass for like $140. You can't beat it.
That's outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the mountains, LaFleur tracks Harry and attempts to shoot him. He gives up the hunt when he realizes that Harry is more than a simple beast. As the family says goodbye, George tells Harry to take care of himself, to which Harry replies, okay, revealing he has the ability to speak. As Harry leaves, 3 other hiding Bigfoots, or Big Feet, including one adolescent, emerge and disappear into the wilderness.
So I'm going to finish this episode and my emotional awakening, Gene, with another observation about films and about what the 80s and 90s were like. There was a stretch in that time frame with movies. We talk about the family movies and the comedies and the action. It was a thing back then where it was about adopting the weirdest thing imaginable, then learning to love it. It could be an alien. It could be a robot. You bring it home. You plug the robot in. It could be an alien robot. You find the batteries. It could be a Sasquatch. Give it a bedroom. Sloth. Or no, what was it? In Goonies, right? You have Chunk decides that he's going to take home a disabled man-child who's been kept captive and says, we're going to adopt you, right? These movies weren't subtle. They were saying, whatever the thing is that you're afraid of, it actually needs kindness. Today, we don't tell these stories. We tell stories of inclusion, right? And it's a big thing about woke movies, right? You have gay characters, LGBT. You have like diverse cultural characters who are underrepresented. We do that. But back then, it was a totally different thing. It could be a completely different life form. And then a suburban family would find it. There'd be an emotional centerpiece where earlier in the film, the family was afraid of this creature. In the end, it would become a growth exercise where it would be a powerful metaphor for acceptance. You would find a robot, an alien, a beast, a monster, monsters under your bed, fucking Frankenstein. Gene, today, none of this exists. We complain about 2 animated female characters kissing, and we say it destroys a fucking film. Back in the day, your son could come home with a poisonous reptile, beast, animal hybrid, and you'd be like, all right, put him up in the attic.
But in the end, they always have to go home, right? Like E.T. had to go home. Harry has to go home. And watching the movie passively, I agree. Harry does not belong in the suburbs. Like, he should go back to the wilderness. But this time around, doing it for the podcast, I started asking myself, like, is Harry actually safer in the woods now? Clearly, he's lost a step, right? Because he got hit by a car. Like, Bigfoot should not even be seen, much less standing in a roadway on a sunny day. The entire city of Seattle, they're still on high alert about a Sasquatch, okay? They're armed. They're aware of Bigfoot. They know he's nearby. They're going to be looking for him. I started to think, at this point, not an ideal world, the world we're living in Harry and the Hendersons, I think it might make more sense for Harry to actually live with the Hendersons, a human family that can advocate for him legally, that can speak with him and tell you what he's trying to say. Isn't he? You think he's safe in the woods?
I think you've just made me realize there's a missing 5 minutes from the end of this movie. You have the 2 Sasquatch experts, right? They're now aligned.
Yeah.
They needed to set up a ruse for the newscasters. They needed to be like, hey, we caught him. Come out here. And it's one of those two. It's Jacques dressed up in a really cheesy Bigfoot outfit, where this was all a fake sighting just to drum up business. Either you had to kill Harry and make it look like he was dead and had died somewhere, or you make it look like it was all just a hoax. That component where it was a hoax and everybody, all we needed was the end newscast. Hey, and today it wrapped up our week-long hunt for Bigfoot when it turned out to all be a fake scam by two local scientists who had long been discredited. Something like that.
You could even do it over the end credits, except for then you'd lose the homage to Aha's Take on Me. Which, by the way, if you've not watched the end credits of Harry and the Hendersons, you can queue up Aha's Take on Me and it matches up perfectly. Fucking wild. Anyway, now it's time of the podcast to give our Shat score for Harry and the Hendersons. Our Shat score is our way of telling you how many wipes the movie takes to get off your respective butts. 0 wipes is the perfect movie. It's a cave with a pool table. And 5 wipes is an absolute disaster of a film. It's when a condor flies over your pool and takes a shit in it. Big D, as you dream about the Pacific Northwest, please give us your Shat score.
I think I'm going to land at like 2.5 wipes. I think it's right in the middle. It's a great idea. Bigfoot living in your house. It's comedy gold, but they didn't push it far enough. They hint at a moment where the daughter says he's a boy. And how'd you know? She saw a Sasquatch dick. She saw it. The daughter motions, hey, looking at his junk. That's great. Give me more of that. Give me more neighborhood hijinks. Maybe Sasquatch takes a shit in the tub. Give me something funny. You want something that everybody's going to remember. Isn't going to be the plot. Harry looking like, oh, hi. And he's just looking with his stupid eyes and his teeth. That's memorable, but it shouldn't carry the entire film, right? And that's what lasted. I think it leaned a little too heavily into that cuteness. I would have rather had pushed the boundaries a little bit where other people could learn a lesson. But I mean, it's what it is. You know, is it E.T.? No, even though it wanted to be. Is it, I'm trying to think of these other movies around that time where they would
Mac
have somebody.
and Me.
No, there was a whole bunch of them, but it's not as good as those. I think 2.5 wipes.
I'm going to come in a little bit higher than that, Big D. This is a great movie for kids. If I were a child today, I think I would love it. It teaches patience. It has a lot of callbacks that I'm sure a child would find hilarious. Like when Harry hears somebody say sit, and he launches his ass through furniture or the ground. It's like watching, Nickelodeon, and every time they say what, somebody getting slimed, right? It teaches belief in self and following your dreams. Like when we see George, his dad's pressuring him to sell more sporting goods and criticizing his art, and you realize that this is the dream that he didn't fulfill, that artistry, that's what he should be doing with himself, and knowing that no matter what older people tell you, you should stick to your true self. It has lessons on expectations and prejudice, judging a book by its cover, and kindness, like having understanding and compassion for something that's different than you. And all that's great, but goddamn, this movie is long. It is an hour and 50 minutes that just seems to be different variations on the same scene on repeat. It's going to be Harry in the house. It's going to be Harry running scared. It's going to be mishaps with the neighbors or the cops or somebody else. But I just felt like it was kind of a rinse and repeat thing. Like we'd seen the movie before within the same movie. And for that reason, I got to go lower than average and say it's 3.5 wipes.
And it was inconsistent. You can't have Sasquatch so big that he'll just pop a hole through the roof of your car, but then he can also be stealth ninja creeping up on somebody at the dinner table, right? You can't have both. And they try to make it that way, and it's whatever. I mean, what do you fucking expect? It's a movie of Sasquatch living in a suburban home. I think it's par for the course.
What do you think of if Harry had gone home with George at the end when he gets rescued, right, from LaFleur, and George brings him home for like that last goodbye and they give him his makeover and stuff before taking him out into the wilderness? What do you think? Closet door opens, Harry sees all the animal heads and just kills everybody.
I was thinking more part 2. Harry comes back, they shave him and put him in a giant suit to try to pass him off like Weekend at Bernie's.
They give him a big briefcase, a big silver briefcase.
And he keeps
wanders
saying,
around LA.
He's like, hello. You know, what was the word that he knew at the end?
Okay.
Okay. Like, who are you? What are you doing here? I work here. Okay.
He gets a fucking job at the VA.
Fuck, why you gotta do the VA? No, the DMV is where he works.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he works at the DMV or a nonprofit or an NGO.
So Harry's at USAID. He gets his job cut. He goes back to the... Okay. Anyway.
You don't take my aid. And he stomps around.
All right, Mike. In memory of your mother, that's Harry and the Hendersons. Big D, what do we have coming up next week?
Well, first, I want to say with 3 wipes, I know ties this with some other films. Contact, High Spirits, Betty Blue, Long Kiss Goodnight, Police Academy, Smokey and the Bandit, Mortal Kombat, Grease 2, and Over the Top.
Wow, that's a mix.
I think this is probably the only one you'd want to watch with your family. I can't think of any other one there. No, none.
No. Oh, Grease 2.
No, we got the whole fucking the song about like the
reproduction,
the reproduction of a flower, and it was fucking.
It doesn't have a Sasquatch dick. What do we have coming up next week?
Gene, next week, Mike had set aside some money for a film for a listener or Tom that, for whatever, we're living in hard times, Gene. Not everybody can get a 2-story house in Seattle that overlooks the waterfront. Not everybody can commission a film. So he said, hopefully Tom could find a movie. And Tom wrote in with an ass-kicking film that's long overdue. And it tells the story of Nada, a wanderer without meaning in his life who discovers a pair of sunglasses capable of showing the world, comprised of subliminal messages meant to keep populations subdued, and that most of the social elite are skull-faced aliens bent on world domination. With this shocking discovery, Nada fights to free humanity from the mind-control aliens. Came out in 1988, John Carpenter, long overdue, and one of the fucking greatest, longest fights that I remember in Hollywood history, which there was also, I think, in either Rick and Morty or the Family Guy, they do a shot-for-shot fight cartoon version of this. It's iconic.
Well, thank you, Mike, for commissioning Harry and the Hendersons and our upcoming film that you commissioned for Tom in Midland, Texas. Thank you to all the commissioners who make this podcast possible. That concludes this week's episode of Shat the Movies. You should follow us on social media and share with a friend. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram at Shat the Movies. You can email us, host@shatpod.com. Support the podcast by buying our merch or commissioning your own movie. Find all information by visiting our website, shatpod.com. Also, check out our sister podcast, Shat on TV, review TV series such as Lovecraft Country, Westworld, True Detective, Taboo, American Gods, Game of Thrones, and Watchmen. Find all information on our website, shatpod.com/TV, wherever fine podcasts can be found, including Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and YouTube. Be sure to subscribe. And if you stop Apple Podcasts, please leave a 5-star review. It helps the podcast grow. On behalf of my co-host, Big D, I'm Gene Lyons. Join us next time for the following movie.
Our masters!
What do these things want, and why are they here?
You still don't get it, do you, boy?
They have recruited the rich and the powerful.
They're running the whole show.
Wake up! They're all about you, all around you. Blinded us to the truth.
Take a look.
They are safe as long as they are not discovered.
I don't know what they are or where they came from, but we gotta stop them. Stay away from me. What these are? They have us. Look at them. They're everywhere. Our owners.
We have no other choice.
I don't like this one bit.
Leave it alone, man. It ain't none of my business. Ain't none of yours.
We have been lulled into a trance.
Listen to what I'm saying to you. We're in trouble. The whole world's in trouble. Control us! You're sending some kind of signals out of TV sets.
I've got one that can see.
Mama don't like tattletale.
Now we start spilling some blood. Let's go!
Push a button.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick. And I'm all out of bubblegum.